boy Kid. Hey, you wanna see Robeson? Alright, so I've been busy. I've been real busy. Tech school is tough. You can't fool around, can't joke around. You have to take it seriously. The reason I'm making this video is because I graduate tomorrow. It's been a trip. Oh, yeah, this thing. Yeah, this. I'll tell you about that another time. But for tech school, you need to study. You need to stay on top of your stuff. You need to make sure you have your stuff together, because if you don't, fail, you're done. It is over. We've had people in my class fail block tests, get washed back. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. You know, if you don't do what you gotta do as a grown adult, you're not gonna pass. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, when you get here, no matter where your tech school is, to make sure you stay yourself, stay true. You know, stay focused. Don't let anybody change you. Although you're gonna change from being here, but don't let anybody change you to the point where you don't know who you are and you can't. If you do change, you can't return to the person you once were. It's not a good thing. Especially dealing with tech school, it's a lot of people, especially a lot of problems, a lot of attitudes, a lot of different cultures mixing. You living with someone else. You know, and I do have another roommate. Since I've been here, I've had 3. The one I got when I first got here, my second roommate, and this is my 3rd. Tomorrow, I get to wear my blues for the first time since BMT. And it's probably gonna be the last time for a while until I get promoted to senior airman, staff sergeant, tech sergeant, etc., etc. You know, but I don't plan on getting in trouble. So. It's usually the only time crew chiefs actually wear their blues. So, you know, I'm not gonna play it. I like looking nice, but yeah, it's a lot of work. But this is just a quick video, just to let y'all know I'm still alive. I haven't forgot about y'all. You know, I haven't been making videos. I've been preoccupied with life and tech school. So make sure you look out for them. You might see me in a video wearing that right there. You know, that blue set. Yeah, you'll probably see me in a video wearing that. I'm excited. I'm very excited. You know, it's a lot of nerve-wracking moments, a lot of worry, but it also builds confidence. It does. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have it recorded. So don't sweat it. Don't trip, because everyone's gonna get to see it. It's your boy, Airman First Class Robeson. Over. Out.
My text, I looked at him and almost ran my front bumper into Corvette. Enthused by the touch of a woman, she's a masseuse, and I'm a professional porn star, went off the goose. I had a 5th in the trunk like Curtis Jackson for ransom. I'm hoping to get her loose like an Uncle Luke anthem. I'm 2 blocks away, 250 feet and 6 steps from where she stays. She waved at me across the street. I pulled up, a smile on my face, and then I see 2 niggas, 2 black hoodies. I froze as my phone rang.
be seated. So, today we have the class graduation. If you're fortunate enough to finish your training, you get to this point, since the beginning of y'all's class, right? You progressed, you learned some stuff, not only about becoming a maintainer, degree level, but also about yourself, your own abilities, your own strengths, weaknesses. You learned more than just what you learned at basic, which was about working with one another to accomplish something. There were some times in the course where you had to work totally by yourself, whether it was changing a tire, looking up a job, documenting the job. Okay? You didn't learn everything that you're going to learn about being a crew chief, but what you did learn is basically your foundation. When you go out of here, probably the best advice your instructor probably already given you many times is to be a little humble when you talk to your supervisor, your expediter, your flight chief, because you're not the expert yet. You want to take what knowledge they can give you and you want to build on it, the knowledge that you learned in this course. If you think back for your time in the Air Force, maybe any of you been in longer than 8 months? Okay? So in 8 short months, think about what you've learned, not only about the Air Force, but about yourself. When you get to your follow-on training, you get to your bases, think about how much you've evolved, not only as an airman in the United States Air Force, but also as a person. I would dare say, if you went home right now and maybe ran around with your friends that you have there before you joined the Air Force, it would be totally different. You would think it was totally different because you have developed a lifestyle of being in the Air Force. We get up every day and go to work every day. You have to wear your hair cut a certain way. You have to make sure your uniform's straight. You know, it's a different lifestyle. The thing that some people forget about their military service and their career and what they're doing is sometimes people have a tendency to look at what's going on with them, what they're doing today, and go, did I really contribute? What am I doing and how does it matter? Every person that steps up and puts on a uniform, whether it be for 1 day, 6 months, 8 months, years, okay? Because there's a vast variety of different amount of time in service in this room, okay? What you need to remember is what you contribute today, that's what counts for you. Tomorrow, we'll get here when tomorrow gets here. And you will build, hopefully, on what you've learned today with what you learn tomorrow. And you just keep building until you are that expert at your job. Just like in 8 months, in under 8 months, you've learned this much about being in the Air Force. Imagine how much information you can possess, how much knowledge you can have about your job by the time you get to the level of some of the people that you see around you. You know, we have staff sergeants, tech sergeants, people who've been in the Air Force anywhere from 8 months up to 14, 15 years. Those are experience levels. What you do is a direct contribution to the entire mission. So don't ever, somebody walks up to you in a parking lot and says, thank you for your service. And you go, well, I've been in the Air Force 6 months. You ever thought that? You ever felt that way? Right, I'm just getting started. I haven't done nothing yet. That's not entirely accurate. What you do every day is different from what everybody else in the world outside of the military family does. You get up and put on a uniform every day. While there are other civilian entities that get up and put on a uniform also, it's not the same, exact same concept. You know, you have your firefighters, law enforcement, valid, noble career choices, and there are definitely people that dedicate their lives for stuff. But the biggest difference between you and them is they can come in tomorrow and say, you know what, I had enough. Here's my stuff. Here's my gun, here's my badge, I'm going to the house. set it on the table and walk out. You can't do that. You gave up the ability to do that. You gave up that right. That's what makes it different. It also is what makes your contribution from where you sit might seem small, 6 months, 8 months, 5 months. I don't know, maybe some of y'all have been in 3 months. But it's not. Every day that you come to work and you do your job, you project air power. Because that's what you're doing. Has anybody told y'all in basic training or in tech school that people are the Air Force's most valuable asset? Anybody told you that? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay? You know what that means? An F-22, the cheapest they ever were, is about $134 million. Do you think you're worth more than an F-22? People are the Air Force's most valuable asset. Do you think you're worth more than $134 million? Because the knowledge you possess, I cannot replace. An airplane is an airplane, right? It's an inanimate object. I can build a new one. I can't replace a person. I can't replace the conscious decision you would make, the knowledge you now possess, the knowledge you're going to possess. Okay, so as you go out of here, remember the lessons you've learned about following your TOs, about adhering to your safety, about being a good wingman, about your core values. If you allow them to, your core values will become almost cliche. They'll just be words. I don't want you to do that. I want you to use them. Airplanes fly around bases. That's where we live. That's where you're going to live. Right around that Air Force base. So for me, when I say it's a big deal to me that y'all get trained, I live right off an Air Force base. With my wife, my 3 daughters. We all live right there. Okay? Airplanes crash. Sometimes they crash right on top of the base, right around the base. Okay? Wherever they crash, that's our responsibility. It's our job to ensure that we did our job correctly. And you can only be 100% certain that you did your job correctly if you were following your TO, if you were doing your job right. If you have a gut check that says, wait a minute, this ain't right, then you need to say, wait a minute, this ain't right. Okay? Do you have anything?
No, sir, you pretty much covered all bases.
6 months.
Sure, I'll hand them out.
So the first award is the Knuckle Buster Award. I'm going to let Sir Neil do that and explain to you, the rest of you, what it is.
All right, the Knuckle Buster Award, guys. It's basically, it's not for the I want to say, you know, the best of the best of the best, but it is one of the things that where the guy, he just shows that he's willing to do whatever it takes to help out his classmates, to stand up, be the go-to guy. He may not be the smartest guy, doesn't matter. He may be able to be the hardest working guy, and that matters a lot. And that person in this class, you know, I'm not surprised by this. He's demonstrated to me a couple times that he has this capability inside of him. So I'm just going to go ahead and Airman Basic Isaac M. Mata, come on up. Take a picture or whatever.
Okay? So, Sergeant Cruz is their instructor. He's not here. He's on leave. Normally, it seems to be a tradition. They kind of talk about each student a little bit and their experience and kind of some stories, some humor, some how they've learned about each other. Usually the instructor learns something from the class also. So they're kind of getting a little shortchanged, I guess, on that aspect because their instructor is not here. However, I will tell you this class, from my experience, I block tested them last night, and this class finished with a bang. And by that I mean, I think their average for the Block 8 block test was 91. Is that right? Overall average 91. Is that right? I think so. That's pretty good. I think it's pretty awesome. There are a lot of 95s. So, excellence in all you do, right? Finish with a bang. All the way to the end. Without further ado, let's get this done. And these two. Amen. You can give me one with a name like that. Zeki. Airman Basic, Zeki Crudup. He's got your camera? Is that why you're squeezing my hand and looking at him?
No,
Am I supposed to smile now?
I'm
We're
filming,
gonna do this for a
so.
long time?
That's a video.
Done?
We know that. That's a video.
Oh.
Airman Basic Isaac M. Mata.
Are we videoing or picturing?
They're picturing, he's videoing.
All right, did you get it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
A1C Michael S. Pollard. A1C Christopher J. Riddle.
I don't know what they're doing. They don't look done yet. Congratulations.
A1C Daywan E. Roberson.
Congratulations.
Airman Kevin N. Taylor.
I'm trying to break my hand. Old and feeble. You gonna back up with that lie? It's awful bright. Okay? So, once again, I present to you the newest recruit chief class. Stand up, graduate. Conclude the ceremony. Please feel free to come around and congratulate them on their way to lunch.
We did it! We did it! We did it!